It's time for business news with Richard Southern. Canada's key interest rate is going up once again, but this could be the last hike we see for a while, Richard.
Hey, Erica. Yeah, it could be. That's kind of the signal from the Bank of Canada today, which, as you say, hiked interest rates for the 8th straight time since last March. The benchmark rate up a quarter point to 4.5%, the highest we've seen it since 2007. But sure enough, the bank and its governor, Tiff Macklem, said this just might be the last rate hike for a while, with inflation starting to show signs of coming down. Like other rate hikes, though, this is going to make your variable rate mortgage more expensive. It's going to make anything tied to a prime lending rate more expensive, like your bank line of credit or your car loan. Most of the big banks this evening are hiking their prime lending rates to 6.7%. A lot of talk about housing because these interest rate increases have really cooled off the housing market. We're hearing from some housing experts, though, who are saying that maybe the floor for the market is in sight now, with the Bank of Canada rate hikes maybe behind us. In fact, some mortgage experts are talking about the potential for home prices to start to rise again in the coming months. But Erica, if you got that variable rate, it's going to cost you even more trouble for many Canadians.
Yeah. All right. When you combine rising interest rates with soaring inflation, a number of Canadians are now struggling just to make ends meet.
22% of people asked in a new poll, Erica, 22% said they had no money whatsoever. Flat broke, these Canadians said they were. Quite troubling indeed. And it was 1 in 4 saying that in Ontario. 35% of people making 40 grand a year or less said they were completely tapped out. Obviously, this is very tied to the inflation story, with 54% of people in this Ipsos poll saying that they are struggling mightily to absorb all the price increases we are seeing. I mean, inflation is showing some signs of easing in recent months, but the cost of living was still up 6.3% in December. And of course, if you have no money on hand, well, that simply means that you're putting your groceries and what have you on your credit card and you're levering up. And that's a whole other can of worms. But many Canadians, Erica, they have no choice right now.
All right, and finally, we touched a bit on this earlier this week, but with discretionary spending so tight right now, many are calling out the country's largest airline for rising fees.
Yeah, if you check a bag, on one particular route, actually, Air Canada has dramatically increased its baggage fees, that being on the Toronto to Kingston, Jamaica route. One bag is $30. That's unchanged. But if you want a second bag on that route, look at that, $200. A third bag, $500. Air Canada asked about this, said it was using a narrow-body plane on that route, and typically people on that route bring a lot of bags, so this is kind of how they were dealing with it. You know, it's not cheap to check bags these days.
No.
Domestically on Air Canada, it's anywhere between $36 and $60 per bag. Internationally, your first bag is free, but then it could be anywhere from $50 to $200 for a second bag. I don't check. I just pack light, and then you put it in the overhead, and Bob's your uncle. But it's if you're able to pack light, Erica,
I
you
try
can
to
avoid
do
all
it,
those
but
fees.
sometimes I just have too many products and stuff for my hair and skin. So anyways.